Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Before I do actually get into the unboxing of the new motherboard, I'll give you a little backstory on why I have another motherboard. Well, the previous motherboard I purchased was this, the Asus Rampage 5 Extreme. I bought this motherboard second hand. It came with a bundle with the CPU and the RAM, which I have since taken out. But yeah, it turns out this motherboard is an E-ATX motherboard, which is a motherboard that is let's say about an inch wider than a standard ATX motherboard. At the time, I didn't realise that this motherboard was an E-ATX. My case, the Fractal Define R5 only supports ATX motherboards and smaller, so like micro ATX, mini ATX and whatever else. It does not support E-ATX. So I've gone and bought another motherboard which is ATX. Now before you say anything like why don't you just try and make it fit, modify your case or something, not that long ago I got the Fractal design case, so it's a brand new case. I'm not going to modify it to void my warranty on it. Anyway, let's get on to the unboxing of my new motherboard. Once again, I bought it from Scan, the same company I got my new laptop from. Not a sponsor, I bought this with my own money. But yeah, I bought it from Scan. I don't know why the box is so long. I think the motherboard box is only about that big. But yeah, anyway, that's just the box. Anyway, before you ask, no, I don't know why it bulges on top here. I'm actually prepared with this video. That's a first. Right, so here we are in the box. We have lots of industrial sized bubble wrap, which I won't be popping right now. Here is my order. Well, there's my invoice, which does have my address on, so I'm going to put that off to one side. And here we have the MSI X99A Tomahawk motherboard. And it comes in a textured block, which I really like. So yeah, it's just the MSI X99 Tomahawk, and I'm now going to try and prepare an unboxing of this motherboard. I won't be installing this motherboard in my computer, that will be in part 3, possibly part 4. Well, no, the installation of this motherboard will definitely be part 3. Part 4 may be the reinstallation of Windows, but I don't know if I'm going to record that as of this recording. Hello everyone, and welcome back. I know you can see the tripod, but I've gone with a more vertical approach so you can hopefully better see the motherboard with the unboxing bit of wood here. I'm going to go over the packaging. So it's manufactured by MSI. It is part of their Gaming G series. I don't know any more information about that at all. It's a Intel X99, if you couldn't already tell by the name, and it's an Intel board, X99. X99 is an Intel socket, and the name is Tomahawk. So yes, on the side there we've just got that. This is upside down for you. Let me come in and adjust the camera. So as you can see there, we've got USB 3.1, which is pretty much all of the USBs on this motherboard, I believe. I could be wrong with that though. I have no experience with this board at all. It features twin gaming LAN. I'll just be using one LAN port because, well, I have no need for two. My current motherboard has 2 LAN ports. I've only ever used one of them. So here it's optimized for gaming. VGA supports AMD Crossfire and NVIDIA. So depending on your graphics card, whether it's AMD or NVIDIA, you can, it supports Crossfire and SLI if you want to use 2 of those. I also believe it is 3-way compatible. And then audio boost is a red line that apparently goes at the edge of the motherboard there. I'll show you this all more in detail when we get to the unboxing. Moving down the other side, we've got DDR4 boost, which is, well, isolated. They've apparently isolated the RAM DIMM slots. So that's that. We've got steel armor, aka reinforcements on the PCI lanes, so a heavy GPU won't damage the PCI lane. And even though it does have the armor on the PCI lanes, I will still be using a GPU brace. We've got Turbo U2 and Turbo M2. I believe U2 is another type of connector, and if needed, somewhere down there, I know the light's really badly reflecting off it, then we can have lighting by the look of it. So yeah, there's the back I/O port. So we've got a PS2 connector for a keyboard and mouse. We've got 2 USB 2s. We've got a clear CMOS battery. Down there we've got a USB 3.1C. The top one there is a USB Gen 2 Type A, whereas they're just USB Gen 1. I'm not sure with all the different generations and stuff. But yeah, we've got dual LAN, we've got USB 2 again, and then here we've just got the audio in, out, microphone, speakers, optical audio, whatever you're using. So if we just turn you around here, then we can see for this for the specifications of this board, it features those. I won't read them out, I'll just let you pause the video and we'll read it in your own time. And then moving across we have those. And apologies for the shakiness when the camera's on a tripod, which is currently what it was on before I took it off. I have no image stabilization enabled, and that means it picks up the tiniest of movements. Right, there is the going over the packaging sorted. So now let's get into the unboxing. If you can hear something, it's because I've turned a fan on off camera there because it's ridiculously hot in here. So it's the same as the Asus style of boxes, lifts up like that. And then on top we have the motherboard, which we'll get to in a bit. And in the box we have a drivers and utilities DVD. I don't know who uses DVDs anymore, but if you want the latest drivers and the stuff, it's always best to go to the MSI website in my case, because it's an MSI motherboard, and take the latest drivers from there, which I've actually already prepared for. This is a thank you for choosing an MSI product, basically registering your product. You get a stupid amount of stickers. I honestly don't know where you're going to stick those. You get a quick little installation manual. Oh, sorry if you can't see this. You get a little installation manual on installing the CPU by the look of it, and the CPU cooler, of which I already know how to do that. And then we have the I/O shield, which is, well, the I/O shield. Here we have SATA. We've got some SATA cables, quite a few of them. I'm guessing these are SATA 6 gigabit. Yeah, they probably are. If I look in the instruction manual, which I'll get to in a minute, then here we have, I'm not sure what that is. Don't know if it will focus, but as you can see there's like a pin thing there, and then a connector thing there. Not sure what that is. Then here we have a two-way SLI/Crossfire bridge, and here we have two little adapters for the front I/O. We've gone over everything in the box, I think, and what I was going to say is I'll show you what's in the box. So we've got the SATA cable labels, so you know which SATA goes on what drive and whereabouts it goes. We have an RGB LED extension cable, an SLI bridge. I know I said Crossfire bridge earlier, but I keep forgetting AMD no longer use Crossfire via the bridge. They instead do it by the PCI lane these days. I/O shield, 6 SATA cables, the user manual, the drive disk, and the motherboard itself. Okay, so I have repositioned the camera. So now we can take a look at the motherboard. How do we get it out? I'm guessing like that. Yeah. Oh, and then on the back here we've got some sponge, which is, well, sponge. So here is the motherboard itself. First impressions, well, through the bag it looks very nice. So let's go ahead and open it up. I don't want to damage it. So here is the MSI X99 Tomahawk motherboard. So here is the motherboard out of its bag. First impressions, it looks like a very nice motherboard. The PCB is nice and clean. It's not clustered with traces going everywhere. Well, it is because it's PCB. I can see them, but it's got a texture bit to it. It's like a satin texture. Anyway, we've got the LGA 2011-3 socket underneath the cover there. We've got quad channel memory. I'm just going to go from what I know about this motherboard. I'm not going to look anything up in the manual. Here we have 3 PCIe lanes, X16 lanes, with 2 PCIe X1 lanes there. The X16 lanes, which are these ones, are metal on the sides. As you can see, that's what MSI refer to as their armor reinforced or something. Basically, the metal housing around the PCI lane stops the PCI lane from being damaged. I noticed when I was picking this motherboard up, well, when I was looking at it, still wondering to buy it, did you see these tiny little solder points beside the pin bit? Apparently they are like extra soldering points to better reinforce the PCI lane. What do we have? We have those 2 grey ones there. I'm not sure what that one is. I'm not sure. Those grey ones look like SATA cables, but when I just looked in the manual, they didn't say they were SATA cables, so I'm not sure what they are. They're definitely SATA cables, and there are 6 more SATA cables on the side there that you can use. That there is a USB 3.0 header. There's the Turbo 2 or whatever connector it's called, I've forgotten. There's another USB 3 header there. And we have the standard 24-pin motherboard power. And then over at the top here we have the 8-pin CPU power. And then we've got like there's a pump fan and the CPU fan there. The pump fan's for water cooling in case you've got a water cooler. I don't. Well, basically, I think it's the same as a fan connector, judging by the connector. They look identical, they've just got different words written above them. And then we have Audio Boost 3 down there somewhere underneath this shrouding bit. And then at the back here we have the I/O, which I went over a little bit earlier in the video, so I'm not going to go over it again. But I think that covers it for the basics of this board, and also that covers it for the unboxing of this motherboard. So I hope I will see you in the next part of the video, which I think will be part 3, where I remove my old motherboard CPU and RAM setup from my case and put this one in and like install the cooler and the CPU and RAM and all of that stuff. So that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed the video, then like it. If you haven't, dislike it and tell me why in the comment section down below. Speaking of the comment section, if you've got a question you want to ask or anything like that, then leave it in the comment section below. Subscribe, favourite, share, all of that stuff. But that's it for this video, so thank you for watching, and I shall see you, speak to you in the next video.